Well, one thing is for certain. The past year has been unlike anything we've ever seen, anything we've ever experienced before. But even through the COVID-19 pandemic, there are African American men in our Pittsburgh region who are persevering, doing amazing things, and not letting anything get in their way. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Doss, editor and publisher of the new Pittsburgh Courier, and I'd like to officially welcome you to our Men of Excellence virtual event celebrating and saluting our class of 2021. Over the next 60 minutes, you will get to see all of the honorees, up close and personal, including interviews with some of the honorees, testimonials from some of the honorees, and of course, the moment when they receive their stylish Men of Excellence Award. We filmed the socially distanced event at Savoy Restaurant in the Strip District on April 16, and no one has seen the amazing video we captured until now. But first, as you may have heard, our legacy honoree for this year's Men of Excellence celebration was Bishop Lauren Mann. We were ecstatic a few months ago when Bishop Mann agreed to be our legacy honoree. However, as you all know, Bishop Mann passed away on Sunday, May 2nd, here in Pittsburgh. He was 74 years old. From all of his pioneering work as a newscaster, first on KDKA radio and more notably on WPXI television, to his founding of Pentecostal Temple Church of God in Christ in East Liberty, to being named in March to the prestigious COGIC General Board, Bishop Mann was truly an icon in our city. He will forever be missed. Later in this program, we will have a special video tribute to Bishop Mann, produced by Brian Cook Sr. Now, let's turn our attention to our program we had at Savoy, and we pick it up with the Courier's advertising coordinator, Ashley Johnson, as she spoke to the socially distanced crowd.
I would like to thank you all for attending tonight's special event. We at the New Pittsburgh Courier appreciate your continued support, not only for our publication, but for our honorees. While there may have been some obstacles getting here tonight, we are very proud of our class of 2021 Men of Excellence Award recipients and their many accomplishments, and we are excited to celebrate each of you. There's a quote by Edwin Lewis Cole that says, "Mediocre men work at their best, but men seeking excellence strive to do better." That quote is fitting for tonight's occasion because the men being honored have not only strived to be better individuals and role models for those coming behind them, but they have dedicated themselves in their service to making a positive impact in their professions and their communities, leaving it better than what it was before. It is that which makes them all men of excellence. Also, I would like to take this time to recognize our sponsors and thank them for their support. It is their generosity that has made this event possible. Our award sponsors are Mad Dads of Greater Pittsburgh, Robert Morris University, and UPMC. Our patron sponsors are Bridgeway Capital, Community College of Beaver County, Exerbia Home Health Care, Port Authority of Allegheny County, and our newest addition, Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. Again, we thank you for joining us this evening, and congratulations to all of our Men of Excellence honorees.
Give Ashley a hand, because she's the one that pulls a lot of this together. You have no idea the great work she does behind the scenes, making all of this come together. Thank you, Ashley. All right, now let me introduce our special on-air correspondent. Correspondent for the evening, a Pittsburgh native. She's been previously featured in the Courier as an author and entrepreneur who always strives to uplift our community right here in Pittsburgh. Larissa Lane, right over here. She will be interviewing a great many of you, so Be careful what you say. You'll be live. In the meantime, enjoy the hors d'oeuvres in the company of the other honorees. I'll be back to begin our presentation segment a little bit later. So enjoy.
There he is. Congratulations. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you too,
I feel fantastic. This is a great honor that I'm able to take part in. Yeah, I really appreciate everything that they've done for us, even though this pandemic has really been a setback for us. I think it's an opportunity to move forward as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for all that you've given us. And thank you for highlighting all those people, including myself, who are trying to do good in the community. I'm blessed and honored to receive this award. I love doing the work I do, helping the community, Steel City Sports World family, Pittsburgh Mercy. I love you guys. Thank you all for recognizing me. And I'm going to continue to do what I do and just work and strive to make this place a place to live, where everybody's accepted. Thank you again, Pittsburgh Courier, and everybody involved. I'm just blessed and honored. Thank you again.
I have to say, this is amazing. Never would have imagined that I would get a chance to be a part of a group like this. I think being able to come together, build a network together, and just really spend time encouraging, uplifting one another, there's nothing like this. Especially to find African American men in Pittsburgh coming together to move things forward, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Well, I'm humbled and I'm honored to be presented with such a prestigious award. Essentially every day in my job, in my career, I'm trying to make a positive impact. I'm trying to make a big splash in service to others, because I think when you serve, you move action forward. And that's essentially been the story of my work career, working at Nazareth Prep and Holy Family Institute, and being associated with the New Pittsburgh Courier, which is an iconic newspaper. It is indeed a great honor.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Look, I'm the one that really looks like alcoholic in all the pictures. Like, look at that for each race.
How you been? Thanks for having me. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Yes.
How you doing? I got it.
Ashley, it was so nice to meet you in person.
Well, first, to be in the number with the rest of these honorees is an honor that's overwhelming, and I was actually quite moved when I received the phone call from the New Pittsburgh Courier saying that I was a part of this table, a part of this collective. So to be honored in the number amongst this group of excellent men is something that I am thankful for, and two, I'm grateful to God for any bit of recognition for the things that I might do or say across the country. And so it's just an honor to be a part of this same group of men.
Mr. Doss, I'm Larissa Lane, and I've been going around having conversations with some of the honorees, and I have with me Dante Works. Congratulations, Dante.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, how did you get into community service?
So it's pretty easy when you live in a community to get involved, especially if it's your home community. And so, being a resident of Homewood was very important that I was involved in the ground roots of what happens in my community. So as a result, I took over some properties in Homewood and turned them into housing situations for homeless veterans and veterans who are released from incarceration.
Okay. So what level of dying to self did it take to be into community service?
It takes pretty much a relentless commitment because there's generations that come up in the community. So you're not just influencing your generation, but the generations to follow. So I kind of left what I tell people, I left my career for my calling in the community.
So what would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy for Homewood is that Mr. Works cut the grass, shoveled the snow, and helped when he could, and he was there, consistently. He had a consistent impact in the community, so that's what I want to be known for in Homewood.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for spending your time interviewing with me.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening.
You
Congratulations.
Too. All right, pleasure.
So we have joining with us Elijah David King. Thank you for joining me, and congratulations on receiving Men of Excellence.
Thank you very much.
So how are you finding a way to connect with those who don't know that being an optician is an option and those who are wanting to be an optician?
Well, actually, universities help a lot there. We typically will have 1 or 2 students working in our office that are interested in becoming an optometrist, typically. Occasionally we get someone that's interested in becoming an optician. But in our office, we're able to take them full circle. We show them what's going on in the examination room. We show them what's happening with the optical laboratory, and we manufacture product on premises. And we give them a chance to interact with patients that are coming in. So typically, those students would work with us for a year and a half. And at that point, they'd have a pretty good idea as to, what they want to do as far as the optical business is concerned.
So what would you like your legacy to be?
I'd like people to know that, I created something, It's like I worked pretty hard and was able to keep an office running for 35 years and really helped some people that have had some serious problems with vision. And I'd like to think that most people think that we're pretty fair in what we do. And I'd like to keep people coming back to us. And I think that's very rewarding to me, at least.
We have with us Chris Howard, president of Robert Morris University. Congratulations on receiving Men of Excellence 2021.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a great honor.
No problem. So I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
One of my questions I end up writing down because it's a little long. So the question that I have for you is, how are you bridging the gap or the space between being president and the students of Robert Morris University?
Well, I'm bridging the gap between being the president of Robert Morris University and the students by bringing as much empathy as possible to what's going on during the pandemic, trying to provide them with the resources they need to be successful as students, mental health-wise, and just being well, and making sure they're getting great jobs when they graduate. Listening, being available, and also trying to muster as many resources as possible, including a recent $3 million gift that we got from the CEO and founder of Netflix that's focusing on scholarships for underrepresented minorities.
That's so wonderful.
Thank you.
How would you, for someone who wanted to get more into education, what would you say would be some tips for them?
Yes, sure. So if one wants to get an education, whether it be K-12 or tertiary, college, university, is first off, study.
Yes.
Do well on your own accord. It makes you much more attractive. And then start researching the pathways, because education is like business. Being in manufacturing is different than being in finance. Being in IT is different than being in, say, sales or textiles, something like that. So when you come into higher education, you want to think, do I want to be a professor? Go that track. Do I want to be in student life? Do I want to be in fundraising or development? And once you kind of figure out where you fit, and then it's time to start networking and doing more research to make sure you get those right jobs and that right pathway, or even whether it be athletics, in any of those areas. It's much more multifaceted than people think, but the key is to do your homework, do well where you are now, and then reach out to those mentors and sponsors.
So was being president of a college always a goal, or was it something that you just end up coming into?
It's a great question. So when I was named president, my mom always said, what took you so long? But I was always somebody who wanted to help other people to achieve their hopes, dreams, and aspirations. So it didn't I thought about it probably when I was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford when I was 22, but it took about 15 years or so before it manifested itself, where I left industry and the military to go do this. But again, I've always wanted to help other people, and to be able to do this on a day-to-day basis has been a great honor, and I'm delighted to be doing the job.
So what would you like your legacy to be?
I came, I empathized with other people and their plight, and I helped them improve their station in life through education.
Well, thank you for joining me on this interview. You have a lovely evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so we have with us Damon Givner, owner of R&R Trucking, LLC. What sparks your passion? What sparks your passion of trucking?
Well, when I grew up, my cousin drove trucks, and I always wanted to drive them, and I used to go to work with him, sort of like when we were out of school in the summertime. Me and my brother would go to work with him and everything. So when I got older, I said I wanted to be a truck driver. Like when I grew up, it was always, I want to be a truck driver. You know what I mean? That was my dream job. And then later on in life, I got my CDL and got it. My brother started out, he gave me a truck. I started out, and in 2006, I started out with one truck, and now I'm 8 trucks strong.
So what helps you continue to have the passion to be a truck driver and to want to help others?
Well, I mean, I just loved the trucks. It was like even when I was a kid and had toys, Transformers, I threw all the Transformers away except for Optimus Prime, and I kept it. So it was just as I grew up and I got into trucking, it was just my passion. So I started learning how to work on them, Googling it, and going to work on them, and then also it became, the trucking industry became big, and everybody wanted to get into it. So people would come to me and was like, hey, I want to get a trucking company, this and that, and I just started helping them out.
Okay. So what advice would you give someone who were interested in, the career path that you chose?
Well, it's definitely a business that if you want to get in it, it's 10 toes down. It's a hands-on business. You need to learn the business, learn the trucks, and I mean, just like, it's not just a thing that you can get into and like some people want to do the trucking and do other stuff. I mean, you need to or have somebody there 110% in the business, because it's just a rough business, and I mean, it can go either way. Just as well as it makes you a lot of money, the trucks, if you're not able to keep up on them and maintain them, it'll take you down in the same instance.
We have here with us Brent Jernigan of the Neighborhood Academy. Congratulations, Brent, on your achievement of being Men of Excellence of 2021. So I have a few questions for you, all right? What made you get into education?
Oh, wow. I have a compelling story. Grew up in the inner city of Pittsburgh on the East End. Experienced some troubled times as a youth. And I had some mentors who really took me under their wing and gave me a chance. And education was the vehicle that turned it all around for myself. And it inspired me, and I knew I was one of those guys. As soon as I arrived on my college campus, I knew I wanted to contribute and give back and continue that legacy forward that helped me out so much in my life.
Okay. And what makes you keep going?
Oh, wow. For me, it's the students.
Okay.
We have a special, talented group of students. The legacy's strong, our alumni is phenomenal, and our community and parents and the whole culture we built, it makes it easy to just wake up and be motivated and continue to just, give everything you have towards those lives.
Okay. And what do you see in the future for education?
Oh, wow. Particularly for the Neighborhood Academy?
Yes.
We'll be forging ahead with a STEM-based program to get our students really exposed to fields in the areas of finance and medicine and engineering. So that's something that we are moving forward in, and very proud of that. This is our first year this year having an Ivy League acceptance, but it didn't stop at one. We had acceptance at Yale, Lehigh, University of Penn, and then the list also includes CMU, Duke, Villanova. So we're forging a path forward for our school, and we're very proud of that.
We have Brandon White, VP Senior Recruiter, BNY Mellon, joining us. So congratulations on being a Men of Excellence of 2021.
Such a pleasure.
So I do have a few questions for you that I wanted to go over. I was able to read your bio a couple times and learn a little bit more things about you. So what is something, though, about what you do as far as human resource that most people wouldn't know or have insight in that?
I would probably say one of the things I've done over the last few years is I've created a number of seminars specifically focused on trying to identify how we can educate individuals when it comes to career opportunities. And so one of the things I've done is I've tried to make it fun and exciting, but really giving opportunity for individuals to actually see what we as people in human resources look for, what we like, what we don't like. So I do a lot of mentoring, giving tips and tricks on how to prepare resumes, how to prepare for career opportunities, those types of things.
Nice. So what made you want to get into?
Oh, mercy. I have to be honest with you. A few friends of mine just continue to encourage me as I just started working on resumes and giving interview guidance over years. And then finally they kind of pushed me into, you need to start doing this full time. And so from that, I kind of, started from there.
Nice. So sometimes, we can jump into things. So what has kept you there? What keeps you going?
Oh, that's the hard question. I would have to say the joy of making a true impact on an individual. Okay. And it doesn't just impact one person, but it impacts the lives of entire families, entire groups. So that's why it's something I feel is just, it goes above and beyond just that one little situation. So I think that's what keeps me there all the time, because I get to actually see this happen. And then I have a motto that if you've been into a position for 1 year, as soon as we get to about the 10th month, it's time to have a conversation with me. We revisit what you're doing, what you've done, what you enjoy doing, and what is our next steps.
With us, Johnny Burton, owner of BFF Arbor and Lawn. And I wanted to say congratulations to you for being one of the Men of Excellence of 2021.
Oh, thank you so much.
I thought it was very intriguing how you're providing opportunities for people who are starting over.
Yes.
I think that's so amazing. What made you want to do that?
Well, I was a person that had to start over once, and then many people I know had to start over also, and I know the struggles of that, and to be a support system for somebody who's trying to go through something and trying to get to another side is the best thing I could ever do in life, so.
Wonderful. So what keeps you going?
Growing and helping, helping my community, helping the brothers around me, helping everybody else that's trying to get to the next step, and helping myself actually get to the next step through them. So that's what really keeps me going.
Nice. So what would you like your legacy to be?
Oh, my legacy is the men under me. I mean, I had a mentor. His name was Iron Mike, and that's a nickname, but his name's Iron Mike, and that's my mentor. And anything that comes through me has come through him. And I want the next man that I train, everything that comes through him comes from me. And the guys that's under him, I want it to go on and on and on, and I want that to never stop. And I'm really just living through somebody who gave me a chance, and I want to give the next guy a chance, and I want them to give that next guy a chance.
We are joined by Roy Blankenship Jr. Thank you, Roy, for joining me.
I'm very happy to be here.
And congratulations for receiving the Men of Excellence Achievement Award, okay, for 2021.
Well, it's only by the grace of God. So.
Nice. So you have done some tremendous things in the community. As I got a chance to read your bio, I was very intrigued and very impressed of all the things you were doing and I mean, there was so many things in your community that you were doing, and I realized that you're also from the south side of Pittsburgh.
Yes, I am.
Which
Yes,
is
I love
wonderful.
my South Side.
Nice. I'm from the south side as well, so
Yeah, okay.
yes. But one of my questions for you is, what would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy, really what got me into this work was my godson's daughter getting killed, little Isis Allen. I realized that though I was working this union job, there was a missing of male presence in the community to sort of speak to the youth and help our community along. So standing alongside quite a few other brothers from around the South Hilltop, we all got together and decided that there needs to be a unified message for all of us to sort of stand together and raise our communities, because we can't allow the system or leave it back and point at the system to do it. From there, my legacy was known as unified, and that's the legacy I want to live, and that's the Urban Neighborhood Initiative for Integrity, Education, and Development. That's a grassroots thing, never to be an organization, it's a state of mind. So I want more people to gather that unified state of mind, because if something goes wrong in our communities, the police are involved, the churches, the residents, community nonprofits, all organizations and local politicians. We all should have a look at ourselves and see where we failed, because the community is comprised of all of us. So I want to bring that message back of community and that oneness that we need.
Thank you again for doing so much work for the community.
My work has only begun.
Yes, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so you got to see the honorees of the Men of Excellence. I got to have conversations with them. I'm Larissa Lane. You can follow me at Larissa D. Lane on all social media platforms. I'm going to pass it back on to Mr. Rod Dawes.
Here we go. Now, please welcome the new Pittsburgh Courier's Men of Excellence, the class of 2021. All right.
Congratulations again. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. First, we have Mr. Byron T. Allen, Project Manager for Highmark.
Yay.
How you doing? Congratulations to you. You can stand over here.
Next, we have Mr. Thomas Burley, Community Leader and retiree from Westinghouse Electric Power Systems.
All right. That would be me. Indeed, it is you. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Here you are. Okay, and you can stand right over here.
Next, we have Mr. Johnny Burton, owner of BFF Arbor and Lawn.
All right.
All right, all right.
Yay!
Congratulations to you. All right. There you go, Johnny.
Yeah.
Next, we have Mr. Stephen Davis, President and Executive Coach of Davis and Associates.
All right. All right. Davis, congratulations to you. Thank you. Here we are.
Next, we have Mr. Derek Davis, founder and CEO of HLR Entertainment, LLC.
Derek. All right. Congratulations.
Next, we have Mr. Luther J. DUPREE Jr., Service Coordinator for Pittsburgh Mercy and producer and host for Still City Sports World.
Yeah. All right. Congratulations. All right.
Next, we have Dr. Kelton Edmonds, Professor of History for California University of Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir. All right. Congratulations. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shake that right there.
Next, we have Mr. Vincent D. Elliott, President of Western PA Council of HBCU Alumni.
All right. Congratulations. Oh, great honor to present this to you.
Next, we have Mr. George Fleming, Program Supervisor and Outreach Specialist for the Fathers Involved Now program for Allegheny Family Network.
Congratulations to you. All right, you want me to hold this for you? Yes, sir. Okay.
Next, we have Mr. Roy Blankenship Jr., Community Outreach Manager of the Hilltop Alliance and founder of Blankenship Estate Enterprises.
Indeed. Great honor to present that to you.
Next, we have Mr. Alan Francet, owner of Big Al's Unisex Hair Salon.
All right. Congratulations. Yes, indeed.
And next we have Mr. Brandon White, Vice President and Senior Recruiter for BNY Mellon.
All right. Congratulations to you. Absolutely.
I want to make sure you get the, the handkerchief and all.
And it matches the award.
I'm going to make sure we get it all. Thank you all so much.
Roger W. Davis, President of Community College of Beaver County.
All right. Right over here. I don't want to be in it.
Next, we have Mr. Robert B. Fulton, Equal Opportunity Specialist 2 for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Department of General Services, Bureau of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Small Business Opportunities. Next, we have Mr. Eric Gibson, Senior Executive Career Coach for Nazareth Prep.
Congratulations to you, Eric. All right, there you are.
Make sure you get my good side.
Next, we have Mr. Damon Givner, owner of R&R Trucking, LLC.
Congratulations to you, Damon.
Mr. Brent Jernigan, Assistant Head of Schools for the Neighborhood Academy.
Congratulations to you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Next, we have Mr. Elijah David King, owner and director of Oakland Fashion Optical.
Okay, congratulations to you. Absolutely.
Next, we have Mr. Tayon Mitchell, President and CEO of OnGrade Financial Group.
Congratulations to you. All right.
Want to take one step that way? Perfect.
Next, we have Mr. Alton Mitchell, Minister of Worship and Arts for Rodman Street Missionary Baptist Church.
Congratulations to you, sir. There you are. Okay.
Next, we have Mr. Charles J. Reeves, Deputy Chief Operations Officer for Port Authority of Allegheny County.
Congratulations to you. Absolutely. There you are.
You want to take one step this way? Right there, right there. That's perfect. And one more. Can you tilt the top of it up a little? Yeah, just like that. Perfect. You can smile. I got you. Congratulations.
I was trying to hold my stomach in.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Well, it's coming up on
Next, we have Dr. Chester D. Thompson, Associate Dean of the School of Business, Arts, Science, and Technology for Community College of Beaver County.
step for congratulations. Absolutely, there you are. Okay.
We have Reverend Dr. John C. Welsh, medical ethicist and community engagement consultant, and also the pastor of 6 Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Congratulations. Here you go.
Can we have one step this way? Right there, perfect. Yeah, hold it, hold it.
Michael Barnes, owner of Rue Orleans Catering.
Congratulations, Mr. Barnes. Yeah, you can take your mask off for this.
All right, this is right there, perfect. Wait, one more.
Next, we have Mr. Chris Howard, president of Robert Morris University.
All right.
It's just like, appreciate it.
One more. Perfect.
Brought my posse, can they pop in real quick?
Yeah.
They're past winners. They were waiting on me to get mine.
So you're a late bloomer.
I'm a late bloomer.
Wait, one more.
Next, we have Mr. Kelly E. Morrissey, federal and state of Pennsylvania law enforcement agent.
Okay, very good. Congratulations to you.
Look right here. Perfect, congratulations.
Next, we have Mr. Shabaka Perkins, co-founder and director of Sankofa Village for the Arts.
All right, okay. Really good. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Cool. And look this way.
Next, we have Mr. Anthony W. Pipkin, assistant principal at Pittsburgh Morrow, Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Congratulations to you. All right, very good, very good.
Next, we have Mr. Michael Potter, founder of Black Brew Culture. And Mr. Potter made a special trip. He came all the way from North Carolina to get his plaque. Next, we have Mr. Jace Ransom, out-of-school time manager for the Office of Community Services for Allegheny County Department of Human
All right,
Services.
congratulations. Absolutely.
Next, we have Dr. Christopher W. Robinson, Associate Professor of Social Work and Drug and Alcohol for the Community College of Allegheny County.
All right, got it together, huh?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Okay.
We're gonna have you stay right here. Do whatever you want to put. That's perfect. And one more.
Next, we have Mr. Leland Scales, nonprofit partner field manager for 412 Food Rescue.
Scales, how you doing? All right, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have Mr. Sean Thomas, entrepreneur lending director for Bridgeway Capital.
Okay. Okay. Congratulations to you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely.
Now we have Dr. William Simmons, associate professor of the School of Medicine for the University of Pittsburgh and the past president of Gateway Medical Society.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
Next, we have Mr. Terry Smith, founder and president and CEO of Empower House of Greater Pittsburgh and founder of Wisdom, Work, and Wealth, LLC.
All right. Absolutely. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Next, we have Mr. George C. Spencer Sr., President of Greater Pittsburgh Area Mad Dads Chapter.
Congratulations to you. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Mark Stuckey, Chief Technology Officer for Pittsburgh Public Schools. Next, we have Mr. Daniel Taylor, Executive Vice President of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Western Pennsylvania.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right.
Next, we have Mr. Curtis Upshur Jr., retired from Community Care Behavioral Health Organization.
Welcome. All right. No problem. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Next, we have Mr. Robert D. Walker, President and co-founder of Exerbia Home Healthcare, LLC.
You gave me my first 1099.
That's very true. That's very true.
That's the truth, though.
Next, we have Mr. Thomas Washington Jr., Community School Site Manager for Homewood Children's Village.
Congratulations to you.
Next, we have Representative Jake Wheatley Jr., representative of the 19th Legislative District in the state of Pennsylvania.
All right, Jake. Don't forget to take the mask off.
Next, we have Mr. Marlin Woods, Executive Chairman of Benefits Plus.
There he is. Congratulations to you.
Oh, bless you, man. I appreciate it.
Next, we have Mr. Dante Works, owner of the House of Veterans, LLC.
Congratulations to you. Absolutely.
We have Mr. Clyburn Haley, Police Chief for Pittsburgh Technical College.
Okay. Congratulations to you. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Ronald B. Saunders, President of the Dr. Edna B. McKenzie branch of the ASALH. He could not join us tonight. Mr. Stanley Bell, Journeyman for Local 154 Boilermakers. Next, we have Justin Wikoji, Director of Development of the Business, Math, Science, and Technology Division, Office of Institutional Advancement for Morehouse College. He could not join us this evening. Next, we have Mr. Ryan S. Scott, Executive Director of the Social Justice Institute for Carlow University. He could also not join us tonight.
And now is the time to honor our legacy honoree. The New Pittsburgh Courier presents to you this special video tribute to our Men of Excellence Class of 2021 Legacy honoree, Bishop Lauren Mann.
Lord, lift me up and let me stand by faith on high, vegetable land, a higher plane that I have found. Come on, Lord, plant my feet. Lord, plant my feet on.
Bishop Lauren E. Mann, founder of Pentecostal Temple Church of God in Christ in Pittsburgh, has been described as a stalwart in every industry he touched. Before becoming a man of the cloth, his journalistic prowess is described as dynamic, and his presence on the air dating back to the 1960s made him a pioneer as one of the first African American reporters in radio. before transitioning to television.
Good afternoon. This is Lauren Mann for KDKA News. At 1 o'clock, the temperature is 29 degrees. KDKA's official forecast predicts steady to slowly falling temperatures this afternoon. We'll take a look at the weather forecast following the news. The Institute of Real Estate Management sharply criticized the city of Pittsburgh.
He started out at KDKA Radio, and I think that's what Channel 11 realized, that when he was doing that, because of that voice he had, and he knows how to project to the audience. As a preacher, that came naturally to him. So because of that, he was very good, and he was a very good anchor at Channel 11.
I'm Lauren Mann. I'll have the story.
He did very well at that. And because of that, that's how he became known nationally, not only as a journalist, but also as a pastor. And I want to give him credit also, because of what he did there, he also realized he should get more on radio. That's how he formed the gospel radio station in New Kensington. And look what that grew into, a 24-hour operation which serves as an entity to the public.
Jumpstart your day. Power 1360.
We're the only African American owned radio station in the city of Pittsburgh at this point right now because of him. And we take pride in that.
Covering the Berg. Power 1360. Plug it in. Power 1360.
You know, I sit here in the mornings and I used to wait to see that voice come around the corner. Hey, Brother Joe. Listening to him preach and then sitting down, talking to him on a personal level. He was phenomenal. He was truly blessed.
But I hear God calling you by your name. And the only way you're going to get out, you got to tell him, yes, Lord. The only way you're
When you think about community leadership, you think about Lauren Mann. And he had such an advantage because he was also a journalist. He was always there for his people. He could do more than a lot of politicians because he had a personal relationship with God. I mean, the man was unbelievable in terms of the chores that he had, not only his daily grind on the 9 to 5 in the corporate world.
Ann Hortz and her physician husband moved from Washington County to Bethel Park just 2 months ago. With her husband opening a new
But also dealing with the personal issues that he had to attain to as a pastor. He was also had a great sense of humor.
All right, let's get you please out. Don't do it, Ronnie! 3, 2, 1. It is. Don't do that, Jeffrey. Hey, man.
And time forbids me to go into any detail of some of his stories, but he definitely was a storyteller. But the thing that I remember most about it when I worked at Channel 11 was that when they had the morning meetings and whatnot, what story was they going to cover? They were wondering how to go about it. Somebody would always say, let the Reverend do it. And sure enough, he had the advantage because members of his congregation could go to him for help. They could go to Channel 11 to get the story publicized. But when it comes to follow-up, I mean, he had a personal relationship with his people. So he was definitely on the cutting edge. I just know that he will be surely missed. And I know you're listening, Reverend. I'll be up there to meet you soon.
He was a man for all seasons. He's a man above men and yet a man of men and women. A man for the moment and a man for the future. He actually superseded time because he was always present in every situation in which he was involved. A tremendous pastor. He was my pastor for over 20 years. I learned a lot about the Word of God. I thought I knew a lot, but I found I didn't. A tremendous professional. Even though I heard him preach, I'd enjoy seeing him on the news, bringing the news, because it was professional.
There is a word of caution. This booming real estate market in the Pittsburgh area could change at any time. Given the turbulence in the Middle East, mortgage bankers could face a money crunch at a moment's notice. Lauren Mann, Channel 11 News, Bethel Park.
The cross represents a coming together. It reaches, first of all, from heaven to earth. But if you have the cross only with one plank, one piece of wood, it is from heaven to earth. That's not good enough. But what stretches from heaven down to earth has to also stretch right and left to human beings.
James talks about not just being a hearer, but a doer. And Bishop Mann knew how to have his listeners be able to do that.
But then we got to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So Christianity is summed up in two things. Say it with me: loving God and treating people right.
Bishop Mann is an icon in this city. He's an icon in America. He's an icon globally. The things he's done worldly, the things he's done here. One thing I can say about the bishop is every time we needed him in the community, he was always there. Whether that was to use his church for activities, community meetings, or whether that was to make sure that we had, that if we were distributing food, he would be there. If there was things going on in the neighborhood, he would be there. As big as he was as an icon, he was also a community person. He was a community leader. And I enjoyed Bishop Mann. I enjoyed the church, the whole nine. He's a great man.
Christ is really about the people, not about the position.
When you think about Bishop, you're gonna think about a man of God. You don't lose that. We lost the physical form, and that's tough. For those of us that loved him, that's tough. But what he poured into us will remain forever.
He was Pittsburgh. He was the community. The most aggravating thing about Loren, quite honestly, when you went out to compete with him on a story, was that people would flock to him. You'd be out there trying to interview people and hoping you can find somebody, and they would just run to Loren. And you're kind of going like, whoa, that was one. We knew that, he was beloved by the community. So we had to have Loren for that reason. The second reason that we had to have Loren, was just because, within the community of journalists, he was just very well respected. He was revered within the community because, again, he was somebody who was so engaging and was so approachable. And three, it was his voice. Simple as that. When Loren spoke, it wasn't just what he said. He had that voice that resonated.
When we were last together on the Word for Today,
you just wanted to say, okay, Loren, whatever you want.
Hello, I'm Bishop T.D. Jakes, the senior pastor of the Potter's House of Dallas, Texas. However, I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, and I spent an innumerable amount of times in Pittsburgh ministering the gospel of Jesus Christ. While there, I had the privilege of preaching at the Church of God in Christ, where the late Bishop Loren Mann was the presider. I've known him down through the years, remember him, his news career, his impact on the city, the amazing things that he has done, his term on the Church of God in Christ General Board. As the greater Pittsburgh area comes to commemorate and honor and virtually memorialize men of excellence, you couldn't have picked a better choice. Bishop Loren Mann was in a class all by himself. It wasn't too many weeks ago I saw him in Cleveland, Ohio. I was saddened by his departure, but my soul is still made glad because I know where he went. As we honor him and his legacy, long may it continue to reign in the Pittsburgh area where other young men and women can emulate the steps that he left in the earth. Our highest honor and accolades and respects are conveyed in this transmission, and with it the hopes that the future will become brighter and brighter because the seeds of Bishop Loren Mann continue in the earth. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this momentous occasion.
The Pittsburgh Courier Legacy Award couldn't go to a more outstanding person than Bishop Mann. He checks all the boxes. His legacy has been, in my mind, A+. Great speaker, great teacher. I mean, that came from above, from God. He shared that with us. To this day, we'll always cherish those memories.
Once again, we at the Courier send our condolences to the Mann family, and we will always remember the work Bishop Loren Mann did for us, the people of Pittsburgh. This concludes our Men of Excellence Class of 2021 virtual celebration. I'd like to thank the remaining Courier staff you haven't seen during this broadcast, including Stephen Broadus, Allison Palm, Rob Taylor, and Warren King for their contributions. And I thank you for watching this broadcast. I am Rod Doss. From all of us at the New Pittsburgh Courier, good night.